Hey, what's up, everyone? This is the Migs Media Show, and today we're going to be talking about Halo, the new series that came out on Paramount Plus today. The source material comes from the Halo franchise, a Xbox video game that is about, 20, 25 years old, something like that, 20 years old, I think. And, well, 20, actually, no, it's 20 years old. I think this year or last October, it was like the 20th anniversary. So it's a long-running franchise. They have 6 core installments and they have a few offshoots. They have tons of books. I personally own every Halo video game. I own a majority of their books. I am very well versed in the lore. I just love the franchise video game wise, the universe building and the books and everything like that. I am a huge fan. So I just wanted to start off by saying that. If you guys probably saw my video about the trailer and how I was not happy about the show at all, going into it and even reading, different interviews with like the production team and the directors, things that they were saying, it just didn't feel right to me. The things that they were coming out of, out of their mouths. But I like to go into any show or any product with an open mind, even if it looks like it's going to be bad, even if I don't like some of the creative decisions that they made, I go in with an open mind. And I did that with this show Halo. It's 9 episodes. I guess they're coming out weekly. So the first episode came out today and it was a pretty lengthy episode, like 45, 50 minutes, which I liked. And just general thoughts before going into spoiler type territory. I liked it. I really enjoyed it. Didn't really have much to say negative about it. I think it was a kind of a near perfect episode, which is nice. Some of the highlights, the production. They spend a lot of money in this show, and you could see it immediately. There was no skipping out on any kind of scene. You could tell they spend money on any kind of environment that they were in. And I like that, and it shows. I was watching it in 4K, or at least what it seemed to be 4K, because that episode was looking on my TV like nothing I've ever seen before. It looked amazing. I like the actors. The world building was nice. CG was pretty good throughout. The only time I didn't like the CG was for the Covenants and the Elites. When they came out, they looked a little rubbery. I try to compare it to one of my friends. It's like when you saw the Hulk with Edward Norton and then seeing Mark Ruffalo's Hulk in Avengers. They're both CG, but one looked like he could actually live in your world and you can actually touch him, and you know what he'll feel like, as opposed to, Edward Norton's, which it looked cool, but he was very shiny, seemed very rubbery, didn't seem like he could stand next to a person and be believable. So there was that. But in regards to everything else, I thought, it was pretty awesome. So that's kind of my general takes on it. I can't wait to see what happens next week. The story is set in a different reality, so it's not going to follow the story beats of the game, which I understand why they're doing it. I think they could have been successful going either way, but I know what happens in the games, so why not see like a different version of it? Kind of like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones followed a specific through line, but they diverted, here and there and kind of kept us on our toes in different outcomes of characters and plot points and stuff like that. So now into, I guess, maybe spoiler territory or not spoiler. I don't know. I just want to talk about things that I took notes of, right? The violence. Extremely bloody, like things that happened in that first episode. I was like, oh, didn't see them going that hard. They're really pushing it. I didn't see what the rating was, but this has to be at least PG-14, and it definitely pushing that if it is. The Covenant, like I said, CG for the Elites, I didn't think it was that well rendered, but whatever. That's nitpicking. I did see one of the prophets, Prophet Mercy, and he looked amazing. He looked like a real alien, which I thought, like, he looked lived in, like it looked real. I loved it. The gunplay was very similar to the game, which I liked. A lot of the sound effects that the guns made, the Mjolnir armor that Master Chief wears made the same charge up time when his shield dropped and it was reloading or charging. I thought that was cool. A lot of the guns you see from the game were there, and they looked exactly like they were in the game. So I like those little details. You saw, and I'll just give a list of the guns that we saw. You saw the DMR, the Magnum, the battle rifle, and the AR. And then obviously for the Covenant side, you saw like the plasma rifle, not the plasma rifle actually. You saw the short little hand one. I forgot what it was. The one that you could charge up and do like a burst, but whatever. You saw that. You saw obviously the most popular weapon of the Covenant that the elites hold, the energy sword. They were using that willy-nilly throughout the beginning of the episode. The voice of Master Chief, still not comfortable with it. And you gotta take into account that anyone that's played these games and are fans of these games, it's not that they're attached, it's that we're used to hearing a specific voice attached to a character for 20 years, and then hearing someone else, it's kind of hard to get used to, especially when that character in the game is still voicing him 6 months ago, less. I think the last Halo game came out in September, October. He's the same actor voicing it, so we're still hearing it. I played Halo a couple weeks ago, so that is a bit jarring for me. But that, again, that's a nitpick. People who haven't seen, people who haven't played the game or haven't played the game, since the first one or what have you, I don't really see it. You probably won't have an issue, which is good for you. Intro music was kind of cool. They had kind of similar beats to the game, but then it kind of went through its own kind of stuff. The heads-up display on his helmet was very reminiscent of the game. I thought that was cool. You actually get multiple locations. They're at Madripoor, one of the planets, then they go to Reach. They actually go to High Charity, which is kind of like a space station for the Covenant. We do see Dr. Halsey, and if you played the games or read the books, she's very similar to how she is in those pieces of medium. She's, very into science and knowledge and finding more out about the aliens instead of just killing them. And she's also very protective of the Spartans. Her main mission is to protect her Spartans. She calls them by their first name. She's the only person who calls them by their first name. She doesn't call them by their designations, because they all have designations and their letters and numbers. So Master Chief, his designation is Sierra 117, but his first name is John, and she remembers it. She remembers all their names, which is cool. We see, like I said earlier, Prophet Mercy. There are three prophets: Prophet of Regret, Prophet of Mercy, and Prophet of Truth. Right now, we only see Mercy, and you see him interacting with a human. So in this universe, or this reality, there have been some humans apparently that are working with the Covenant. Not sure if it's many or just one, because it seems like that specific one that's with Mercy has been with him for a very long time. And, we'll have to wait and see what happens with her in the story, in the upcoming season. We do see Commander Keyes and Miranda Keyes. They're from the game. They, seem both pretty cool. In the games, they're awesome characters. They did have a race swap for both of the characters. In the game, they were white. There was only one black character in the video game. The rest of them, I believe, were white. I don't know. Obviously, some people have issues with race swapping, but I get it. And I have no issue with it as long as the essence of the character stays the same. Then I don't care. So if you play the games and then you watch them in the show, you can see they're the exact same character. Just they were casted with African Americans, which I think was awesome. We have to reflect. But anyway, I'm going on a rabbit hole. But Miranda Keyes, I thought they were great. A big issue that I had because of me being attached to the games and stuff like that was the reveal of John's face. In the games, you really don't see his face. You never see his face in none of the games. In the books, they describe his face as a child, and they describe his face roughly when he's older and stuff like that. But obviously, you never visually see it for yourself. They did reveal his face. I forgot who the actor's name is, which he's awesome. I love him. He was in Orange is the New Black and stuff like that, and in a movie with 50 Cent, which they had that great scene scaring the kid that was taking the girl to prom or whatever in the garage, which was cool. But he's a great actor. Love him. And he seems to be doing a great job as Chief. Similar to the Mandalorian, you don't see his face, but the way he talks, the way he moves his body and stuff like that, and the grunts and noises he makes, he brings that character to life. But the face reveal I just didn't like. Obviously, if there's not a story reason to have his face covered, similar like to the Mandalorian, that there's a reason why he doesn't take off his helmet. But in the game, there is no reason. They just kind of leave it a mystery, because in the game, you're kind of supposed to embody the protagonist, and that's kind of why they did that. But now in the lore, he does take off his helmet from time to time, but when he does, he's completely buzz cut, has no facial hair, and is extremely pale because he is forever in the armor. So seeing him not pale, very tan, hair on his head, on his face, and stuff like that, I wasn't a fan of it. I get it, it's different reality, stuff like that, but I mean, I can't change the way I feel. Didn't like it, but it is what it is. Also, being that it's in a different reality, it seems like in this one they mind wiped the people that they abducted for the Spartan program. I'm not sure if I remember correctly, but I believe that obviously they abducted the children for the Spartan programs, which, you know, John was one of them, and they were aware when they got abducted. They woke up somewhere else, and then they were fed a fake story of why they were with the United States military and what they were doing, and their purpose of training and stuff like that. Don't know if they're gonna go more into it. I'm pretty sure they are, but there just seems to be some kind of deception with the military, which is called the UNSC, and the Spartans, as opposed to how it was in the game. But yeah, so again, that's my spoilerish things that I kind of wanted to point out, and I liked it. I can't wait to see next week. Again, my trailer, I was not into it, but it seems like they're doing a good job. And if they're doing a good job, I give kudos, and I think they are. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the review. Let me know what you guys think of the episode. Let me know what you guys think about the series. Remember to like, share, subscribe, comment about things you want me to talk about next. I appreciate all the interactions, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good one. Peace.